Today, we're jumping into the leader's journey. We're going to break down what really truly drives the most successful people to innovate, to take those big risks, and, to achieve some pretty extraordinary things.
So let's just start with a really big question. When you think about the great leaders you admire, what do you think is pushing them? Is it just the money? Is it the power, the fame? What's the engine at their core? Well, the answer, it might actually surprise you.
And there it is. It's not the treasure at the end of the map. It's the thrill of the adventure itself. This one idea completely flips how we look at leadership. It's all about the process, the challenge, the journey. Okay, so let's dig into that idea on the first part of our journey together, understanding what a leader's true motivation really is. What's that initial spark that lights the fire for their biggest wins? What's so fascinating is that when you ask these successful leaders about their greatest moments, they don't start by talking about the end result. Nope, they talk about the beginning. That moment they saw an opportunity to innovate, to shake things up, to make something better. That's the real starting line for them. So if the big motivation is hunting for opportunities, where do leaders actually find them? Well, that brings us to our next stop, the outward quest for innovation. And this is absolutely crucial. It is so easy for teams and companies to get stuck in their own little bubble, only looking inward for new ideas. But the research is clear. The most game-changing ideas, they're usually found by looking outside your own four walls. Just think about how major industries get disrupted. It's hardly ever a direct competitor, right? It's usually some newcomer with a totally different way of looking at things. So the whole innovation process can really be broken down into a three-step cycle. First, you have to be actively looking, always searching for that chance to innovate. Second, you gotta point that search outward to your customers, your competitors, even totally different industries. And third, and this is so important, you have to keep those communication lines wide open. You've gotta be listening, otherwise those great ideas will just float on by. But hey, this whole quest for innovation, it isn't free. Every great adventure has its dangers. And in the world of leadership, that danger has a name: risk. So let's talk about this inevitable price of admission. Look, innovation and risk are basically two sides of the very same coin. You simply cannot have one without the other. It's impossible. When you pursue new ideas, you are, by definition, stepping into the unknown. And in the unknown, setbacks aren't just possible, they're pretty much a guarantee. A great leader gets that and accepts it from day one. And this right here is where a leader's mettle is really tested. It's not about trying to avoid mistakes, it's about expecting them as a natural, normal part of trying new things. Seriously, if your team isn't making any mistakes, it probably just means they aren't trying anything bold. The leader's real job is to build a culture where a well-intentioned mistake isn't seen as a failure, but as valuable data. Okay, so if the motivation is the adventure and the price you pay is risk, then what's the ultimate reward? It's probably not what you're thinking. Let's take a look at the final destination of this whole journey. Let's just be crystal clear on this one. Yeah, success can bring money or a higher status, but those are just byproducts. They are not the goal. If a leader is only chasing a paycheck, they're gonna avoid the very risks that are necessary for real breakthrough innovation. And here it is. This is the real treasure. The ultimate reward of the leader's journey is learning. Every single experiment, whether it works out or totally bombs, it provides priceless knowledge. Every risk you take teaches a lesson. The goal is to finish the adventure smarter and wiser than when you started. So let's do a super quick recap of this whole trip. Number 1, a leader's true motivation is the challenge of the adventure. Number 2, the best innovation is almost always found by looking outside. Number 3, risk and mistakes, they're not just possibilities, they are an essential part of the game. And finally, the ultimate reward, the real prize, is the learning you gain along the way. And that brings us right to the end, but maybe it's the beginning of your next chapter, because this framework isn't just for CEOs of massive companies, it's for anyone who wants to make a change. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. In your own work, in your own life, what's the next adventure you're willing to risk for the sake of learning something new?